How we doing, people? Welcome back to Voice from the Corner. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all safe. I'm back here with the legend himself, Peter. How you been, Peter? All right.
All good, Jack. All good. Long time since we've done a little interview. Obviously, both took a bit of time out. I'd like to say, firstly, to everybody out there who has supported the channel, still stayed subscribed. We ain't lost many subscribers or nothing. If you ain't subscribed already, subscribe now. Press that thumbs up. I just felt like I needed a little bit of a rest, Jack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, me too. Because I got the more I kind of got into the channel, and the more you taught me, the more I kind of got sick of boxing in a way. Because the more I just got exposed to it more, and seeing what's been going on, and yeah, I just needed a break from it. Just needed just a bit of time just to relax because it is such a mental world.
I mean, you know what it is, Jack. For me, I think we try to change the channel. We try to be a little bit more YouTube-ish, if you say. Going with sort of the tide. I was going against the tide a lot of the time in the past, but the tide for the right reasons, because I was just saying it what I was seeing. I was saying it as I see it and my experiences in boxing. I'm a lot more experienced than a lot of other boxing media people out there. I put myself in the top 1% of them people. There's not many people that are really out there that are saying it as it is, and they've got the experience. I can only name one I found really, and that's Spencer Oliver. As a former boxer, and now he's starting to speak the truth and say what he sees, which is great. I think. Love that comment for the how can you eat 30 eggs a day? Before we carry on, Spencer, I have ate 30 eggs on Easter Sunday. I ate 30 cream eggs. That's the top and bottom of it. So and like I say, Simon Jordan's doing amazing stuff now as well.
Yeah.
Like I say, you ain't got to be that experienced in boxing, like yourself. And I'll let you have your comment in a minute about this. If you say what you see, you realise what a state boxing's in at the moment, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. I think with Simon Jordan and what the criticism that's been thrown to him by Eddie Hearn, and we saw with True Geordie and Tyson Fury going off on True Geordie, a lot of people in boxing, a lot of boxers think that if you've never got in a ring yourself and you've never had a fight, that you can't have an opinion on boxing. Where for me, I think that's bollocks, personally. I think that you can watch boxing and you can analyze the sport and you can say what you see. I mean, if Tyson Fury is going to go on True Geordie's channel and say, hang on, you've never laced a pair of books, why are you saying this? Then why were you trained by Ben Davison? He was never a boxer. You know what I mean? Ben Davison trained him because Davison's someone that analyzes boxing. I mean, you have your personal opinion on Ben Davison. Many people do. They call him box size coach, but yeah, I think he's an example of someone that you can at least make a career in boxing and training them. You don't have to be a boxer yourself.
Well, I'll have to take you back on that. I think Ben Davison had a few amateur fights.
Really?
So he did have a little bit of pedigree, but I totally agree with what you're saying, because forget Ben Davison, whose name always gets brought up because he trained Tyson Fury. There's a lot of people out there that are cheerleaders and backslappers, who have never had any experience in the ring. I wouldn't even class them as PTers, because I think that's disrespectful to some PTers out there, because they've got a couple of exams of being a PT coach. These people are going to the British Boxing Board of Control, or if we want to call it the British Boxing Board out of control. And they're basically getting a license on the back of what? On the back of what CV? I mean, Ben Davison, credit where credit's due. I used to see him in the gym years ago with Billy Joe Saunders. I believe he's got a bit of an understanding about boxing. It has helped that he's got all good fighters. I don't disagree with that. But I think any trainer that's out there, or whoever's out there has got to have good fighters to become a good trainer. You can't have a mediocre fighter who's always going to be mediocre. It don't matter if you're the greatest teacher or trainer in the world. You know, he's only going to get to that level. So you need that bit of stardust. Like I said to you, I was speaking to you on the phone. I was talking about, I've been back in the gym around Mark and Jimmy Tibbs. Very, very good at boxing people. You know, both done it at high levels, you know, from the amateurs right up to the pros. You know, again, you know, you could give them a mediocre fighter and they ain't going to actually make that fighter special, because fighters are born, in my opinion. Fighters are born. And what I want to say is that people make it about a magic sponge and I've done this and I've done that. Forget what the kid's done. You know, they can bring fighters on a bit. I'm not talking about Jimmy and Mark. I'm talking about people in general. You know, no matter how good a trainer you are or teacher. But how can I say it? You need to have that little bit of specialness in a fighter for a fighter to go on to win world titles and move on beyond that. Do you know what I mean? And like I say, talking about that magic sponge again, if I did get back into coaching fighters, it would be about me talking about their foundations, their fundamentals, where they've come from, and giving a bit of praise to the person that's put maybe 10, 15 years into their life and not really got nothing for it. Yeah, he's got self-satisfaction from that fighter because he's seen how he's gone on. But give that person a bit of praise and just say, you know what, I've added to this fighter. I've added to my experiences when I was a professional, showing a fighter how to hold properly, showing a fighter how to mess people about, showing a fighter the dirty tricks of the professional game. You know, but are you really going to add to that fighter? No, not really. You can build on the foundation. You know, maybe it's a 3-story tower block and you can make it a 10-story tower block. But if you ain't got that 3-story tower block to work with in the first place, if you're working with a bungalow, it's very, very hard to move on with that fighter and make him, you know, a world champion, in my opinion. And there's a lot of underrated trainers out there because they ain't got the superstars. They ain't got the special fighters. So, you know, I believe you're blessed with who walks through them doors and who you start working with. And do you want me to be real? Because I am real. And I'll say it as it is. I'm not going to work with a fighter that's mediocre and makes me look like I don't know what I'm doing as a trainer or a teacher. You know, you've got to find someone special, someone you can work with, and someone you believe is going to go all the way. Otherwise, stay in the amateurs, work with the amateurs, and, you know, try and bring them through and bring them to a certain level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, who are some of those trainers out there for you that don't have those great fighters that can become really good trainers and could manage those great fighters really well?
There's plenty out there. I'm not going to name on my head. I'm not going to name on my head. You know, Grant Smith, before Grant Smith, even Sonny Edwards become a world champion, you know, and his son Dalton Smith become a British champion. I always rated him. You know, there's other trainers like Graham Everett. Graham Everett has trained the likes of Jonathan Faxton. He had Herbie Hyde. He's up in Norwich, so he don't get the pick of a big bunch, but he's done great work with the likes of Jonathan Faxton, former European champion, you know, fought Ricky Hatton, Herbie Hyde, former world champion, you know, the Walsh brothers, you know, with the small stable he's had, he's done great things with. So, like I say, but it's got to come from the fighter, innit? Because at the end of the day, once that bell goes, you're getting out of them 3 ropes and they're the ones in the ring fighting. We talk about boxing. How could I explain boxing? I could explain boxing like this. The 2 people that are in that ring fighting are the 2 honest people in the arena. Once you get outside them 3 ropes, not saying every coach, you know, and everyone around the ringside. I'm not singling people out here, but they're the dishonest people, in my opinion. It's the most honest sport within them, inside them 4 ropes. They can't turn around and say, you know, oh, I won this fight and make the judges make it go that way. That's down to promoters, managers, you know, and people within the sport.
Yeah, I mean, one person that has been called out for being dishonest by most people in boxing at the moment is Eddie Hearn, and obviously, I know he was throwing out lawsuits to likes of Jake Paul, and he's been calling out people like Simon Jordan and criticizing them for what they're saying. But what do you think to all this criticism on Eddie Hearn and all the backlash that he's had after the Conor Benn suspension and obviously his positive drug test?
I could answer that in a nutshell, right? It's experience. It's experience. And people, i.e., like yourself, you've got a bit more experience now, but still your sort of experience. But you know a little bit more than a lot more other people in boxing because you've been taught by a teacher. Not to bring himself up. No, but Eddie Hearn run before he could walk. And he was putting comments out there like, we need young blood in this game. There needs to be more young blood in this game. And he absolutely tore Matchroom apart and put young blood in them positions. The problem with young blood is it's a little bit like it's like a little bit like the two people, two bulls, the young bull and the old bull, right? The young bull says, "Let's sprint down there and shag one of them bulls or whatever." Yeah. The old bull turns around and goes, "Let's walk down there and shag the lot." Yeah, because that's experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in history, you need old blood for experience. Yeah. At the end of the day, you need to be pulled back sometimes. We're hearing comments like, I'll keep bringing this comment up, but I have to bring this comment up. I brought this up on British Boxers the other day. And when I've done an interview with Aki, now Aki's going to give Aki a shout out there on British Boxers because for me, they're a real boxing channel, in my opinion. That's why they got 44,000 subscribers or whatever and not 4 million subscribers because they have real fighters on there from the ground upwards and whether you're retired or you're still fighting. So that's no dig at any other channel. But channels out there know who them channels are, who, you don't want to put people in your channel because you want to keep people like Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren and everyone else happy. So we'll go to the media side of it in a minute. But going back to the Eddie Hearn situation, you need the older blood there for the experience and people that have been there, seen it and done it. Do you know what I mean? Eddie Hearn has done some good things in boxing. I'm not gonna say he ain't, but he's in a terrible mess as we speak now, I think. And things like walking away from Sky Sports. I don't understand where the mentality was there. I'm not saying there was bigger money involved with the zone and all that sort of situation, but there was a platform there, and there was a platform there he could have learned a lot more with. But you know what? He wanted to be the governor, didn't he? Instead of just like being a promoter, he wanted to be the governor of everything. And sometimes when you're the governor, there's always someone there to try and take your job.
Yeah, you can kind of see where his morals are at because he says he's a boxing man through and through, yet he's left Sky Sports and he's now putting on more YouTube fights on the zone. I mean, if you had watched some of those fights, the quality of a couple of them were abysmal. And that's not me even being facetious and just trying to wind anyone up. It was genuinely terrible. So for me, I don't think he should be calling himself, a true boxing man and this and that when he's leaving Sky to put on these fights. He's doing that for the money. You know what I mean? Go
on. Before I carry on, I get emotional on the channel. I have rants, and they're not rants to try and get views. They're rants because I am passionate about boxing. I am passionate about the sport of boxing. The sport of boxing has got me to where I am today. And when people say where you are today, you're 4 stone overweight, you ain't made much money out of it. You weren't a world champion. You weren't this. Forget that. Forget all that. Boxing to me was part of self-harming, where it helped me through life. It helped me through losing my mum leaving, me losing my sister, losing my brother, having a brain tumor, going to jail. Like, I think that outweighs being the world champion, in my opinion. I've become my own world champion within myself of the way I've got through the sport of boxing. So that's one of the main reasons why I do this channel. I do this channel because I'm passionate about boxing. And I think That's why I took that break, because I realised I needed to know really what I wanted to do. Really wanted to know where the channel was going, what direction we was going to go in. Now we've got me as a purist, me as a. I'm not a boxer fan. I'm a boxing fan. Yeah, so I'm not a boxer fan. So you always say to me, you got this connection, you got that connection. Why don't we go and interview this person? I'm not a boxer fan. These people are my friends. Yeah, right. And the kids coming through are doing a profession what I've done. Yeah. So I believe 90.9%. There's a nice one, a little percentage, right, of people within boxing media, yeah, who are passionate about boxing and want to ask the right questions. But 99.9% of them want to interview Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, and say, oh, look, I've had a selfie with them, and only ask them the questions they want to be asked, and, you know, they won't ask different questions. So going back to the Eddie Hearn saga, sorry, I've gone off the ball there a little bit, but I thought I'd put that in there. Going back to, let's take the YouTube side out of it for now, right? We know it's become a big thing in boxing, but let's take it out of it for now.
Yeah.
He's gone from being a promoter on Sky Sports to putting on good fights, His fights were a lot better on Sky Sports than what they are on the Zone. But he's trying to run a business on the Zone. It was a game changer. It was changed. He's changed the sport of boxing on the Zone. We get interviewers, YouTubers. What's their names? Who was the girl that was on it? Not take nothing away from her.
On the Zone?
Yeah. Who was the girl? Laura Woods.
Oh, she's not a YouTuber.
No. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about the business now, YouTubers, right? Yeah. But yeah. Laura Woods, right? I know she's on TalkSport and I know she does sports, yeah, right? But she was used for her profile. The other girl, who's the other girl? Maya Jama, right? Maya Jama, yeah, she was on it, right? Because she had a massive platform. She used to be with Stormzy, right? We, you know, and they're using all these people, and they ended up having about 8 pundits on it at once while the show was going on. They was all waffling on and what they, but again, 90% of them didn't know what they was talking about. And in that 90%, if they didn't know what they were talking about, former world champions or whatever they are, they was going with a party line and just going along with a party line. But if it was going to be a game changer, they should have had critics on the sport. They should have had critics on the Zone. They should have had people that, when someone said something, they dug them out. So a bit like a Roy Keane, Graham Souness, and Mikael Richards. A bit like
Simon
that.
Jordan.
Yes, yeah, but no, we'll get on to Simon in a minute. Simon, this is before Simon's even landed as an alien in the boxing world. He's landed as an alien in the boxing world. You know what I mean? You can't say that. He can. He has got the power to say that. But you know why he's got the power to say that? He's made his own money, right? He's got a platform in TalkSport. Millions of views a day. Views are going through the roof of it now. And he's speaking the truth. Has he got experience in boxing? He ain't. But you know what? If you go down your local pub in Lincoln and you say to someone, do you watch boxing? Yeah. 90% of them don't even know about boxing. And the other 10% of them turn around and go, I don't watch that crap. The best don't fight the best. I'll watch KFC. I mean, sorry, I was in KFC yesterday. I'll watch UFC. You know, a small platform like UFC is already taking over boxing with one man running it.
Well, yeah, because the best fights get made because it's under one promotion and you don't have all this bullshit with different promoters wanting different deals and stopping fights.
Yeah, and straight away you've spoke about YouTube boxing. You know, we're madly switching from subject to subject here. But you talk about YouTube boxing. Anyway, sorry. Going back to Eddie Hearn, right? So, listen, he's obviously done all right, yeah, as a businessman, yeah. You know, he's got the Zone now. I don't know what sort of position they're in at the moment. I don't know their financial background or whatever, right? But obviously he's going across to other countries now and telling the same stories and, you know, letting the other media in other countries know about, you know, how he's working this and how he's working that. But I think boxing's fell flat on his face on his own, in my opinion. You know, I think, how can you be in such a powerful position? Young man, young blood. Guess what? You know, the old bull has walked there, isn't he? Right? And he's back on top. Frank Warren is back on top. That's the top and bottom of it. The only boxing that people are interested in the world is heavyweight boxing. He's got Tyson Fury. He's got Joe Joyce. He's got Daniel Dubois. Come on. What more can I say? Joe Joyce beats Anthony Joshua tomorrow. And that's his B class. That's his B class fighter. His A class fighter is leaps and bounds above the lot of them. He's Champions League, isn't he? You know what I mean? The rest of them are playing in the conference. And that's the truth. And that's not taking anything away from, you know, the... Sorry, Jack. Sorry, I lost you there, mate. Sorry, I lost you there. You can cut that, can't you?
Yeah, should be.
Yeah. So now someone try to ring. Yeah, not taking nothing away from the heavyweight scene at the moment, but Tyson Fury is Harrods compared to the rest of them down at Sainsbury's. You know, and I'm not taking nothing away from the fighters, and no disrespect, but, you know, if Tyson was around with Lewis, Holyfield, Bo, Bruno, all them sort of fighters, I think it'd been a much more interesting division for him. But he's leaps and bounds, and, you know, we get superstars in this life, don't we? And he's definitely one of them. You know what I mean? I don't think it's superstar stardom from his talking sometimes with interviews. I don't know, but when he put, you know, it's all about what he does as a living, and you know, he knows how to throw his hands, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, as a fighting man, he's the best in the world for me, anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I was obviously going to be that debate, him or Usyk, but you know, for me, when you look at in boxing at the moment, he's the best by a mile.
When the fight happens with Usyk, you know, Tyson's too big, and too big, too strong. And when people comment on that, so-called professionals or analysts and that's commenting that about Joshua, I said, but explain to me how he's too big and he's too strong. Can he use it? Don't matter if he's too big and too strong, but can he use it? The difference is Tyson can use it, and Tyson will use it to his advantage. He'll lay all over him. He'll hold him. He'll mess him around. Do you understand? There's manufactured fighters. Yeah. There's manufactured fighters and there's real fighters, yeah? I always say it. There's manual fighters and there's automatic fighters. We got fighters who've got to put it in gear before they throw the shot, where some fighters naturally just throw punches. And Tyson is definitely one of them. And so carry on. Ask me some more questions.
Well, no, what I was going to say though is it's an interesting point where you say, you know, Tyson's going to put it on him. He's going to put his muscle on him. He's going to actually kind of try and bully Usyk, and that is literally what everyone said that Joshua should have done. All these people that, you know, have never put on a pair of gloves and that, you know, shouldn't have opinion on boxing. Every single one of them got the right game plan for Joshua. However, Joshua didn't have that game plan.
No. Listen, it's not a game. We're not on PlayStation 4 now. We're not hanging around with KSI and all his pals and that and watching. And that's the truth of it. I know KSI's jumped into boxing. Respect the KSI. I'm not, you know, fair play to him putting a pair of gloves on. But when we talk about game plans, there's a difference in being able to play a game, and having the tactics to be able to do it.
That's what I mean.
But physically, he never had it physically. He never had it physically. Sorry, mentally, right? And he couldn't do it. Yeah. I don't know, or the cheerleaders, backslappers that are around him are not telling him the right things to do. He's going back to the corner after rounds and they're turning around saying you're winning the fight. Now, everyone was super confident that Joshua was going to win that fight. I said to everybody, predicted both fights, and I predicted how both fights were going to go. Well, he done a little bit better in the second one. Well, for me, did he do a bit better? I don't know. He didn't win, did he?
No.
Do you know what I mean? So you've got to work a fighter out a little bit probably in the second fight, but he didn't win. And Usyk still controlled the fight. he still controlled the fight. Do you know what I'm saying? But the difference is, because I'm a boxing purist, because I'm a boxing analyst, because I understand the sport of boxing, yeah, not only physically, but mentally, Tyson Fury is strong enough, yeah, which I think that's going to be the hardest brain to go up against Usyk, because I 100% think his brain's in the same sort of level as Tyson's, yeah. He's going to have that bit more physically. He's going to have that bit more know-how to do what he's got to do. And Usyk just ain't physically big enough to maneuver Tyson. With the way he maneuvered Joshua, he wasn't physically big enough, but he physically done it mentally. Do you see what I'm saying? You know, people take away from boxing the physical side of it too much, and everybody trains their bodies. Joshua's going to go back to you. I'm going to go back to the gym and I'm going to be humble, yeah, and I'm going to work even harder. If he worked any harder, mate, his arms will fall off. Mate, go and train your brain. The only thing people don't do in life is exercise their brain. They can exercise their body and have a 6 or an 8 pack. Beautiful story. I was out in Marbella in 2014-15, whatever year it was. And we was all standing in a line, right? They all had 6, 8 packs, yeah? And there was me at the end with a pair of glasses on and a pot belly, yeah? And they walked down, they went past everyone, you're in shape, you're in shape, you're in shape. Look at the state of you, you're embarrassing. Do you know what I said to him?
What?
He's been knocked out. He's been knocked out. He's been knocked out. He's been done. I ain't.
Yeah.
But do you know why? Because I always exercise my brain. And when boxing was over for me, I don't think I've struggled terrible, but I don't think I've struggled in the ways other people struggle. Because it's all about, that's what it's all about for them. Do you know what I mean? But I knew physically, I knew mentally, you know, there was going to be an end sooner or later. It was a terrible end. It was a tragedy of an end. But, you know, I believe you've got to exercise that brain. It's all about exercising that brain. Like, we're going through millions of different, God knows what title we're going to put on this. But, you know, I'm becoming deep. But I think it's good to become deep to people that really want to listen about boxing and people really want to understand boxing. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm glad the public now ain't just, you know, falling over from people's antics and salesmen, because that's all they're selling something that really ain't there, or really ain't going to happen, or really ain't great. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, so and so might be fighting so and so. They're both 90-year-old and they're still talking about it. And then they talk about the return fights of, you know, fighters from years ago. Mike Tyson against so and so. Everybody's excited because they're so drained of not getting real fights. They're not happening. It's not hard to make. It's very simple. It's very simple. But we've got no border control which stipulate these. We have ordered a British title fight. You've ordered it, but the fight ain't got to happen. If the fighter don't want to fight, if the promoter don't want him to fight because he's a cash cow somewhere else, they're going to go another avenue. This is what needs to change in boxing. This is what needs to change. You know what I mean? These are the debates we should be having. These are the debates that should be on Talk Sport. Not, oh, Eddie Hearn with Conor Ben, oh, has he fouled or has he not fouled? Let's get behind the nitty-gritty of what really is happening in boxing. Let's not talk about, oh, as Conor Ben fouled and everyone scream and shout about one fighter, but in the background, everybody else is still making money and they're still not fighting anybody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, and you was talking about Simon Jordan. For me, Simon Jordan, he's a breath of fresh air. He's a breath of fresh air. You know,
massively, yeah.
I'm not about putting people on this channel, like, people being on this channel, everyone's welcome, especially fans, because I think it's more important. And you brought up a comment there. You turned around and said, you know, people who ain't boxed are not allowed opinions. Well, they're the people that pay your wages. So why are they not allowed an opinion? They're the people that put their bums on chairs. Because I'll tell you what, me as a boxer, I don't even go to boxing shows. Not interested in boxing shows unless it's a fight that excites me. Because, yeah, the top of the bill could be a 60-40. I don't even want to say a 50-50, a 60-40, right? In the champion's favour or in the promoted fighter's favour. The rest of the card is donkeys fighting thoroughbreds. And when we want to get onto the YouTube side of things, we want to get onto the YouTube side of things. We know there's some atrocious fights there. They're not pursuing to be top fighters. People pursue them to be top fighters, but in the YouTube world, but they're not pursuing to be top fighters. And do you know what we're getting in the YouTube world? We are getting competitive fights. We're getting donkey versus donkey. Sometimes it's donkey versus dead donkey.
Fans want to see that.
But
the boxing fans want to see those fights, whether it's competitive or not. They still want to see good quality.
No. I disagree. I'd rather see bad quality, and competitiveness than good quality and a walkover. I'm not interested.
I wouldn't even say I'd want this. I wouldn't want the latter either. You want something in between.
Yeah. But let's try and move. Listen, when we take a step, we got to take one step before we take five. And this is the problem with boxing. It's gone that far backwards that we need to try and just get competitiveness within the game before we get quality. And when I was talking to Aki the other day, he said, I watched the Central Area title. It was unbelievable the other day. Do you know why? It's a non-TV show, and they put a ticket seller in the ticket seller. So it's competitiveness. Again, in YouTube boxing, we get a donkey versus a donkey. It can be a derby. So we get a bit of competitiveness. I understand in the big fights, we get a donkey versus a dead donkey, which is even worse than a thoroughbred against a donkey, because at least we got a bit of quality within it, But on a YouTube card in general, we are getting YouTubers fighting YouTubers, and they are at the same sort of level to a degree. So let them stay in their lane. But their lane's taken over. And their lane's taken over because of the competitiveness, in my opinion. And if it's not competitiveness, Jack, it's entertainment. It's like WWE, right? It gives you a little bit of entertainment. Mate, I went to one the other day. It was brilliant. I was laughing my head off. It was funny. Ooh, he missed him by about 6 miles. You know what I mean? He threw a right hand and hit the back row of the O2. But you know what? The crowd is there from 7 o'clock at night to 11:30 at night, all sitting in their seats. I don't know how many times I explained it about these promoters. They put on a show. They name a British title fight on it. Just say, for instance, a British title, Southern Area title, an English title, which is a very, very good competitive fight. They put that on at 7 o'clock when there's 800 people in the arena. 800 people in the arena. Or a competitive fight, a 6-rounder. They put on at 6 o'clock. 800 people in the arena. Sometimes don't even film them. Right? And it's an absolute ding-dong. Getting their brains punched in. Some of them walk out concussed. Some of them walk out and they're talking to lampposts. Honestly, a real war. And then we get the man himself, AJ. I'm using as an example because he's one of the biggest names in boxing. Tyson, whatever name you want to, they get in the ring and they're fighting some fat, out of shape person who they knock over in a round. And the arena is full of 20,000 people. That is why boxing is not promoted. And the problem is, you get that decent Southern Area British title 6-rounder on the bill. The rest of the bill is filled up with thoroughbreds against donkeys. So they think, I ain't going to watch that. We know what's going to happen there. Because the geezers lost last week on the show last week on TV.
Well, yeah, because the whole point, for a lot of it, the whole point of the undercard is just to boost people's records up so they can just get that big fight.
But obviously, what's the point? What's the point?
Exactly. That's why we're not watching them.
Yeah. What's the point? What is the point? There's fighters the other day on the show the other day that was fighting. Great wins. Everybody pursues great wins. Yeah. Well, he should fight him now, right? Because these kids are still coming through. So I'm not naming them. It's not fair to name them. Some of these ain't even got that much experience. But let's make that fight with him now. Nah, we'll wait another 4 or 5 fights. Why? Why are you going to wait another 4 or 5 fights? He ain't going to be no better. And neither is he going to be any better.
Do you know what the issue is, though, for me, is the fact that a boxer can just lose 1 or 2 fights and then that's them done. Fans or promoters are like, not bothered now, you're done. You're going to be a European champion at best. Now, that's an issue for me.
Sorry sorry to say, but one of the greatest fighters. He's got to be up there. You know, a great fighter, say of all time. He is up there, right? It's Floyd Mayweather, and believe me, that I think that all started with Floyd, the unbeaten record, and staying unbeaten. You know, I keep saying to you, going back in eras, and I'm not an anorak with boxing. I don't even know why I call myself a purist. I must be a purist to a degree, but going back in you know, the Durans, the Lennards, the Hearnses, mate, we're talking about them names, yeah. They lost loads of fights. We're talking about them names. They had bad nights. They had this. They had that. Was that era better than Floyd Mayweather? 100%.
I can't
There was
judge.
loads of there was loads of Floyd Mayweathers out there with losing records.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I said the other day about Floyd Mayweather on the pads. I said, how many times have I told you I've been in camp with Floyd?
Yes.
Floyd don't do that. And he's admitted to everyone. So all these so-called cheerleader backslapper trainers that are doing these pads, yeah, you're mugs because you've watched it and you've done it. You're mugs. And it proves how much experience you've got. Anyone that does pads like Floyd Mayweather, who's got a trainer that does pads like Floyd Mayweather, cheerleader, backslap, whatever you want to call them, get rid of them. Get rid of them now. Because they've gone with what Floyd Mayweather's been doing for media, but he don't do that in the gym. How many people have I explained that to?
No, honestly. So I can vouch you for this. From day one, that's one of the first things you taught me.
Yeah.
I remember when you taught me that, my mind was just blown. I was like, oh my God. Like, and I looked at it and I was like, yeah, what is he actually learning from that? That's a dance routine, isn't it?
He's done an Instagram post the other day and he said, you all thought this was the pads. The pads is jab, right hand.
Yeah.
Boxing is simplicity. Boxing is simple. If you're going to turn professional, experienced for fighters are going to turn professional. I mean, we've touched on a million subjects here. Fighters that want to turn professional. You've got a foundation. You've got your fundamentals. Yeah, you've won titles all around the world. Why do you want to go with a cheerleader, backslapper, blowing whistles, making up routines? Yeah, right, just to ruin you. Right, with no experience whatsoever. We need CVs within boxing. We need people in boxing who have got backgrounds. Yeah, I'm not saying they've got to have a flat nose and they've got to be punched in the face, but they've got a background. Credit where credit's due to Ben Davison. Ben Davison is a boxing anorak, mate. He's an anorak to boxing. He is on YouTube daily. He watches things. He's an analyzer, right? I'm not here to say if he's this trainer or if he's that trainer, right? And we've still got to find that out as fighters go on. Josh Taylor's left him now. It's going to be an interesting fight with Cattrall next time to see how he comes out and he performs. You know, and I think that'll be a big thing with Ben Davison. I don't know preparation with camp. I don't know how camp went. But again, he's got all top stars. So till we start getting a few losses within the camp and we see how people are bouncing back, I think that's when we're really going to know what sort of coach Ben Davison is. Like I say, you know, Tyson produced a few trainers and he's produced a few trainers and put a few names up there. You know what I mean? Sugar Hill. You know, who did Sugar Hill really have before Tyson Fury? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know personally.
He definitely put his name up there. Again, I'm not an anorak to boxing, so I don't. People will probably come and go, oh, he had this person, he had that person, he had this person. But irrelevant of who he had, when he got Tyson, he became superstardom overnight, didn't he? And that's the truth of it. Yeah. And the thing is, Tyson is the superstar. And what you've got to realise as a teacher, a mentor, because that's what I want to be if I get back into boxing, as a teacher, a mentor, a social worker, if you want to call it that, because that's what you've got to be. You've got to be that kid's father or that girl's father. You know, they're going to tell you about their good times, their bad times, and that's what I believe a good teacher, a good, a good trainer is. What was I going back to? I lost train of thought then. So like I say, that's the way I'll look at things. And like I say, you can only work with what you've got. That's such a saying, and it's such a true saying. And I'm not prepared to work unless I've got someone that I know and believe, and he believes or she believes that they can become a world champion. Because You know, that's the only thing that I ain't done in boxing, become a world champion. And maybe that I will do that one day. But at the moment, I'm not ready to do that. I'm not ready to be around all these bullshitters because it's full of bullshitters. It's full of lies. Now it's starting to get exposed. I'm getting more excited with this channel, getting back on this channel and being real to things. And how can I say it? You know, the Simon Jordans out there, we need these people, not just in boxing. We need these people in the world to speak real. We know Instagram's not real. We know, you know, social media is not really real. You know what I mean? People just put their best points up. When we do a mental health chat, when we talk a real story, when we put a real post up, people are not interested. People don't put posts up of changing shitty nappies. People don't put posts up of when they got their head in arounds on a Sunday. They've done all their money on a Saturday night. But they put an Instagram post up on the Saturday night being in some flash restaurant. They ain't even got the price of a tin of beans in the cupboard. You know what I mean? I know we've hit on a lot of things here today, people. And, you know, we've been away a long time. Thought we'd come back with a bang with this little video. We're going to do more of these. Let Jack do his own work on what's coming up. You know, have our say on what we think's going on. Again, maybe in the future when we get financial backing, we'll get Jack out on the roads interviewing fighters because Jack is a boxing fan. He is a boxing fan, and you know,
that's all I am.
Yeah, you know, and I'm a boxing fan, but what I'm saying is, you know, Jack likes the fighters, is younger, you know, the younger generation. I'm not going to say no to not doing YouTube at the moment, you know, YouTube fighters, because, or speaking about YouTube fighters, because they're getting the views in, they're getting the revenue. And we are a real channel, but we will say how we think them YouTubers are progressing. But I think we got things wrong in the past, putting clips up. We sat down, shout out to Jack for that. Said, you know what? Why don't you just get on there and give your knowledge? You know, Longneck, you know, gives his knowledge on certain things. You know, and I think that's how we'll build a better brand and a better channel. So I'm putting pictures out there, that sponsors and everything. But yeah. So you know, it's teething problems, isn't it? You know, we've been going 2 years, Jack, and we've had a lot of teething problems. You know, Jack's had to put up with me. He's probably been through a lot of headache tablets and.
You've had to put with me, mate.
No, but I think he's learned a lot as well on the way. You know what I mean? You know, both got busy lives. I've got a family. Jack's got, you know, bills to pay. He's got a place and different bits and pieces.
Had a job.
Yeah, we can't always be, you know, at everyone's beck and call. But like I say, we're always here. And if everybody enjoys these videos, we always want people to comment. We always want we like interaction. We'd like to have people on the channel. We'd like to get people on the channel, fans on the channel. And I think that's a very important point you made there, Jack, about fans. And, you know, oh, yeah, but you got to be experienced. You got to put a pair of gloves on. Hold up a minute. Some of these fans are more experienced. They even watch boxing. A lot of fighters don't even watch boxing. Not even interested in boxing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You'll find a lot of fighters hate boxing, you know. They hate watching boxing. Yeah, hate watching boxing. You get a lot of fighters that will like watching their friends boxing. I weren't a great watcher. I'm not a great watcher now of films or anything really. I'll just, you know what I mean? I'll just get my own sort of feelings and bits and pieces. So the books
I get it. I get it, yeah, 100%. I 100% get it though, because I was a film student and I hated watching films because I was just like, I just got sick of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think for me in this channel, I want people to realise is, you know, I'm still, you know, I only got into boxing, just after like David Hay, Tony Bellew, and I was barely into boxing. So I'm still learning. I'm still learning the ropes and you're teaching me the ropes. And what I hope from this channel is what we get is fans can have a voice.
Yeah.
And we can be real about boxing. We can get people on the channel that be real, and we can almost expose boxing a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you're exposing it, but you're exposing it to try and make the sport better. We're not exposing it because we hate the sport. And it's another reason why I took time out. It's another reason why I stopped being myself, if you want me to say that, because I felt people thought, is he gutted with what he'd done in boxing? I've done amazing things in boxing. I've become a freeweight Irish champion. For a person, really, I used to be out drinking, enjoying myself, partying. I never took the sport serious. So I've done very, very well for what I put into it. I put a lot of time into it over the years, but how much work did I really put into it in my training? I'd be 2 stone overweight 2 weeks before a fight, and it's just, I'll just take it. You know what? We've got to be real. These channels have got to become more real. I keep using the word real. That's like saying I'm telling the truth, but really you're a liar. But you've got to be more real. Look at these podcasts, like people, I got shot once. Yeah. Next geezer goes on, I got shot 3 times. The next geezer goes on, I got shot 44 times. And then everybody's Britain's most wanted criminal. You think, Jesus Christ, where all these criminals come from? Britain's most wanted. And listen, people, sit down, listen to a few of these podcasts and really, really think about it. Yeah? These people are telling lies. They're not telling the truth. Ask them for black and white evidence. Ask them for their charge sheets. You ain't got to ask me for anything I'm talking about boxing, because you can go on a YouTube and you can watch what I've done in boxing. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not sitting here to pursue that I was a world champion. I was a Floyd Mayweather. I was a Manny Pacquiao. I was Sugar Ray Clay. I'm not pursuing to be anything like that. But I'll tell you what I am pursuing to be. I know the sport of boxing. I know the business of boxing. I've been at every angle you can be at in boxing. Promoted the first show, boxing, WBC title fight in Pakistan. Imran Khan got shot the other day. Yeah, I don't go down the road to your call. I'm off to Pakistan. I like to try and make a difference. I like different experiences. Boston, America, Las Vegas, Italy, France. Where do we stop? Holland. Where do we stop? I've been everywhere. I know how it all works. And you know what? I hope my voice gets heard more on platforms like TalkSport. We've been on TalkSport. Shout out to TalkSport. They put clips of our channel on, so our channel must be doing good things. Speaking to Spencer Oliver last night on a live, like he was interacting on the live, and thanks Peter for the nice comment. Keep doing what you're doing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But you know what we need? We need more independent, boxing analysts. I'm not going to say critics. I'm going to say analysts, because for me, if you're working for a platform, TalkSport, massive shout out. I've done a lot with TalkSport with Darren Goff and Drive Time, Adrian Durham, like for years. I've done it for a few years. And TalkSport do give you the voice. TalkSport do give you the opportunity to be real and say it as it is. Listen, I'm media trained. So I've worked media, I've worked TV, I've not worked 20-second delays or minute delays. I've worked live TV. So whatever I say, they've got to trust, because it's live and they can't take it back. And I've got that sort of training. So I can't see why I can't be put on one of these platforms. This platform is our platform, but I still think we need bigger platforms we can work with as well. I'm not going to get on these media platforms. IFL, not going to get on them anymore. Not going to get on Boxing Social. British Boxers, shout out. I was on there the other day, and they still give me opportunities. I was all right while I was flying high on IFL, and I was boxing still and all that, and I was relevant to them. I'm not relevant to them now, because I speak the truth and I say it as it is. So I'm
that's the thing. That's the thing, because I think the one thing we need more in boxing are pundits and people in boxing that do not give a shit about possibly working for DAZN and all these platforms. Because when you care about working for them in the future, you don't tell the truth, because you're scared their
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
exactly what we need. We need more people that do not care. They'll say what they want. And it's like, well, Eddie Omogosi said, oh, you're never going to work for me. I don't care. It was never in my plans. My plans is just to tell the truth.
Do I like football? Do I like football? I never used to really like football. I was a Millwall fan, but that's where I was from. I was like in Bermondsey, you know, when I moved from Ireland. And I was a Millwall fan. I went now and again, played a bit of football, enjoyed it, played a little bit of it now and again. Do you know who drew me back into football? Now I'm going and watching a National League side. I'm going and watching Dorking week in, week out. Shout out to Dorking. They're doing great work at the moment. Middle of the table, you know, first year in the league. Mark White's doing a great job as a manager. Mark Beard as the first team. First team coach, right? First team coach. And team of what they call them? They call them a team of amateurs or something they're called because they've gone through all the leagues from playing in a park. But you know, it brought me back into it and give me a little bit of inspiration to go and watch football again. Roy Keane.
Oh yeah.
I weren't interested in what was happening in the first 45 minutes. I was interested when it went to Roy Keane, Graham Souness, Micah Richards. And what we're finding in football now, more pundits are coming out and being more real, which is great. Which is great, which is beautiful. I mean, I see a thing the other day when Ronaldo ran on the pitch and high-fived a couple of the pundits, Redknapp and someone else, and blanked Gary Neville. Because Gary Neville put something out there he didn't like. But this is the thing. If you want to be in a sport, a professional sport, you have to take the criticism, with the celebrations. You have to take the criticism with the celebrations. And again, on TV in general, you're going on Big Brother, you're going on Celebrity Jungle, you're going on whatever, you're on TV or whatever, right? You got to realise you're going to get backlash on social media. If this channel grows and makes it massive, we'll get backlash on social media. But you've got to be able to suffer that, you know? And that's another thing that I think people will need help with in the future. And I think that's something that should be put in place now with TV companies and things like that. I think they should be told, you know, you're a pillar to the community now, but you're going to get hammered on social media. Ollie Willoughby got it the other day, didn't they? And Phil for whatever Queen's funeral, whatever, not queuing up and all that sort of stuff. But you're going to get that. Don't cry like babies. Just get on with it because you're going to get that sort of with media. And we got to come out of this snowflake world. We got to get out of this snowflake world, and we've just got to start being real. And like I say, people of your age, Jack, and younger, even myself, has sent me doolally a few times. Social media could be the next illness where people end up with terrible depression, anxiety, you know, and mental health problems. Because until people start telling real and speaking the truth on social media, everybody thinks that everybody else has got a fairy tale life. But really, you know, we're all living the same life to a degree. Some are a little bit more fortunate than others, financially, physically, mentally, you know, all different ways. But we're all the same. We all go in a 6'6" box and we go with nothing. You know what I mean? So everybody stay real, keep it real. That's the top and bottom of it.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to end it. Yeah. Sweet. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Really appreciate it. Go on. Say last words, mate.
No. You say last word. You got the last word. You're the one that's took the interview. Although I've took over the interview, talking. But
no, mate. That's what I want. To be honest, mate. People want to hear what you've got to say, mate. That's the thing. So yeah, look, thanks everyone for watching. Really appreciate it as always. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know your opinion. Agree or disagree with us. Let us know. Thank you everyone for watching.